Welcome to episode 58 of The Awkward Tape. It's a podcast where awkward friends have awkward conversations about awkward things. It's becoming a back in my mind thing where I don't have to think about it anymore.
Nice.
I just think of it. I mean, I don't think of it.
Cruise control.
Exactly.
Well, you're going to start one time, and then you're going to think, wow, I'm so glad I don't have to think about this. And then you're going to mess up, and then you're going to, Yeah.
What? That's what you're going to do.
Oh, sorry.
What? Top 10 anime betrayals.
Big
Yeah.
reaction.
Oh, man.
Shmev leaves the podcast.
I'm gone.
Shmev starts his own rival podcast.
No, what do you think? Oh.
All right,
The,
not here today.
It's like how Michael Scott starts the Michael Scott Paper Company.
Yeah.
You just, to compete against the Awkward Tapes, you just have the Shmev podcast.
Or the obnoxious tapes. Competitor.
Maybe that could be like a PG-13 version of us.
Oh.
The obnoxious tapes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I feel like we're already kind of obnoxious, but, you know.
We are.
Presley,
Hey.
what have you been thinking? Well, we've been at lunch. What did you think of?
Well,
We ate pizza.
did your voice crack again?
I'm going through puberty, man. It's a tough time for me.
At least once an episode.
It was Zach's turn a couple weeks ago, and now it's my turn for puberty.
Yeah.
We're all going through it.
Yeah.
It'll be your turn soon.
Really?
Will I grow up one day,
You
Dad?
will. You will.
Aw. That
Alright.
scares me.
Maybe one day.
I guess.
Son, you know why you the greatest alive?
No, don't complete that.
Why, Dad?
No.
Sorry.
Anyway, so you were thinking, Presley?
Here's what I was thinking while we were at lunch. On the spot. Not planned. Go to bed. You'll feel better in the morning. Is basically the human equivalent of, did you turn it off and turn it back on again?
That's fair. That's fair.
You're not wrong.
I'm
The
glad
only
it's fair.
thing, the only thing I have to say for that is that it's a much longer process to actually go to sleep and wake back up, opposed to turning it off and turning it back on.
Yeah.
That'd be my only critique. But
I do agree.
that's fairly accurate. I approve.
I had one situation this past week where I needed to turn back off and turn back on because I got home and I had like 3 different things that I had planned to do. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to lay down for a second. I'm feeling tired. Just got back home, ate dinner, lay down on my bed. Next thing I know, it's 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up. I think I laid down at like between 7:30 and 8. I was dead. I had a headache. I didn't feel good. I knew I wouldn't be productive. So I laid down for a second to gather myself.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
Kermit the
Well,
Frog
Evan, how
here.
much sleep did you get last night?
I got a full 40 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I might as well.
You didn't have to build that
I
rocking
got
horse.
no sleep last night, so I'm a bit sleep deprived.
Rough.
A bit tired. You came over last night for a Bible study. That
Zach's
was
fault.
good.
Right.
What's funny is I'm like, oh, do you want to get on the show? And I'm like, no, I need to get to bed. And I did go straight to bed. The problem is that I didn't fall asleep. So that was the main critique. So right now I'm kind of running on fumes, but what? I'm still here.
Stop.
Be blessed.
Could
Stop
you
it.
please be considerate?
I'm
Some of us are trying to have a podcast.
My
here.
Presley,
I'm sorry.
Presley, bless you and your future generations.
Oh, thanks.
No.
Not just me, but my children.
That was so polite.
I think it's because of this little pop filter here.
Yeah,
I think
Zach's
Zach's
dog
has
hair.
been sleeping on it.
On
No,
the
I
pop
literally haven't brought this into the house
Dog
in
hair?
like months.
Dog hair. Dog hair. Dog hair. Dog hair.
You sure it's not lit?
Like, look at it. There's dog hair on
Yeah.
it.
It's gray.
I'm just saying,
It's
I wasn't
white.
sneezing until I did this.
Yeah. I sneeze every. That's why I have allergic reactions, probably. On the podcast.
Thank you guys for coming back. This is episode 58 of The Awkward Tapes. And prepare yourself for a session of awkwardness. Zachary,
Schmebbery.
you want to answer a little question for me and then we'll discuss?
Yeah.
What do you feel makes people awkward?
I don't feel like people are awkward until they think too much. Like when you get into a situation and you're overthinking about what people are saying or thinking about you, or how they're responding to you, or how you're acting, when in all reality, 6 feet from you, they're probably doing the exact same thing
Mm-hmm.
and don't give a flying turd about what you're doing. And that creates awkwardness because you just think way too much about what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
So does that mean that people that don't think can't be awkward?
I think if people worried less about how they come off to other people or what they're doing, then there will be a lot less
So the
awkward
secret to
conversations.
not being awkward is don't care about people.
Just be yourself.
Yeah.
Be less
Wait,
awkward.
what? No, not at all.
It's 5-second delay.
Be
Right.
extremely selfish.
You know,
Be extremely
Yeah, there you go.
selfish.
I
Hang on,
agree.
right.
I agree with what you're saying there, Zach. But I have met a lot of awkward homeschooler kids that I guarantee you have never thought at all
That's
about
a-
how they come
yeah.
across,
That's a
fair
and that
point.
makes it worse
Yeah.
because
The
they don't think at all.
That's fair.
I want to just ask you something. Do you know what your fatal flaw in your reasoning is?
I'm
No,
gonna go
I
with
don't
no.
know.
They're
They're,
homeschooled.
they're homeschooled, so they're automatically awkward.
That is true.
It's a start.
I
Okay.
can say that as 4 out of the 5 people
Yeah.
here were homeschooled.
Yep.
I'm just saying, we got a point.
That'll do it. That helps.
That'll
Because
do
I
it.
think if you were in public school, you would just get bullied to death to where then you would really start thinking about all
Whereas
those
if you're
stupid things.
homeschooled, your mom is just like, son.
You're an idiot. I don't want to tell you.
When you're in public school, you get bullied. When you're in homeschool, you don't get bullied enough.
So
You are the bully to yourself.
All right.
Think
when
about
you're,
that.
when you're
Wesley.
in public school, you don't get bullied enough.
No. I said in public school, you're more likely to get bullied.
Yeah.
In homeschool, you don't get bullied enough.
So what you're saying is being bullied is good.
To an extent.
I
Being
think
pushed
it-
out of your comfort zone is good.
Exactly.
yeah.
And
Whether
you
that
do
be
that by
bullying you.
shoving people into a locker.
Right.
Maybe not that.
We teach
right.
good things on this podcast. No.
No. No.
We don't.
Yeah. we
Honestly, okay, about the homeschooling thing though, one of my favorite jokes I think I have ever made was when I don't know if you remember this, me and you, Evan, we went to some homeschooling like social event.
Yes.
And it was in Nolensville and your mom took us.
Oh, I remember that. Oh, do you want to guess the movie that they were playing that night?
Yeah.
The B movie.
The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Ah,
it's a
that's
homeschooler
the
thing.
homeschool movie.
It just
I'm
is.
telling you.
That's
And
precious.
so I remember me and you were like standing with a group of homeschool kids, and everyone was just sitting there awkwardly. No one wanted to start a conversation, but we were all in a circle. And I was like, I got this. I got the perfect joke that'll break the ice. And I said, so, in a group of homeschoolers, let me mind you, we all knew what we were there for. I said, what school do you guys go to? And they went,
That's funny.
we're homeschool. And I was like, no, duh. That's the joke. Come on, people. Let's get it going.
They didn't get the joke.
They didn't get
No,
it.
Okay.
they did
At least not at first. And then once I explained it to them, they started dying hysterically.
yeah, because they probably felt social pressure to just.
Whoa! Social I'm sorry. Can you elaborate a little bit? more?
That's for a different
No,
podcast.
that's for what was the other
Sorry.
podcast you came up with, Shmev? The other name
the
of
the
the
time-
obnoxious
the
tapes.
that's for the obnoxious tapes.
Yeah.
I used to think when I was younger, all homeschoolers were like the same person because they all
You're
acted.
not wrong.
They all acted the same to me. They were all just like awkward how I felt, and just different for me because I was public schooled, and it was just different.
He
Some of them
has
were
a
raised a
point.
little different.
Well,
Yeah.
it depends on the person, depends on how they're raised.
Yes.
There are varieties of homeschoolers,
And
believe
we're
it or
kind of
not.
all the same.
But
Well,
the
there's-
stereotype is the stereotype.
Well,
for a
there's
reason.
differences
Yes.
between us, and then there's like the Southern California group, to where it's like the Billie Eilish of people. Like Billie Eilish was homeschooled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a long time ago, it used to be if you were homeschooled, that meant you're a pretty bad kid.
Yeah. Like,
Really?
Yeah, none
Oh,
of the
yeah.
school systems would
Like,
take you
none
to
of
get
the
expelled from everywhere.
You'd
Okay.
be gone, kicked out. Your parents would have to.
Yeah. What are you doing with your eyebrows?
What?
I don't know. I just saw them bounce up and down like a rock.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Why are they a trampoline?
I do that sometimes, like when I'm trying to raise my glasses without touching the nose bridge.
Okay.
And
So
I
let's
thought you
throw
were
some
have a heart attack.
let's throw some examples out there. What do you think are situations like in someone's younger like part of life where it causes them to be awkward for a long time?
I think the first time you get bullied,
I mean, yeah.
just off the top of my head, you're now self-conscious about that from then on out. Just like if Zachary here was 6 years old and we pointed out something about his eyebrows,
I've just been doing it nonstop.
he would
now.
be self-conscious for up until now.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do it now, I think it has less of an impact. So it could be childhood related.
Oh
kinda
yeah, I
up
think
and
it's
step
definitely
a lot.
childhood related.
Yeah.
I mean, I little do you see like no one like someone is not awkward. All right, Zach, we did it.
You have
I'm making,
eyebrows.
I'm making them so uncomfortable. It's great. Okay, sorry.
I
You were
think you're
saying.
also
I'm
making them
fine.
uncomfortable.
You're very awkward.
Oh, obviously. I was homeschooled.
You don't see a lot of the times where people are not awkward and then they get to like 20 years old and then something happens and boom, now they're awkward. They're just lifestyle change. At least I haven't seen that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely younger when you're a kid stuff. So yeah, bullied.
What makes people awkward?
But have y'all? This is a legitimate question because I was public schooled. Like, have y'all ever seen scenarios where homeschoolers were actually bullied?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
If you get enough siblings.
Well,
Definitely.
What's
I
funny
mean, that's
is-
different.
I went to I forget the exact term for it because it's been so long, but I played outdoor soccer as well as indoor soccer, and I went to an indoor soccer game, and one of my friends in California, he was also on the team with me, but his older brother was saying something to my sister, and he was like, "So you're really homeschooled?" And my sister was like, "No, yeah, I'm homeschooled," and he was like, "Well, I don't know what I would do if I was homeschooled. Like, I would have no friends and like no anything, and like everything would suck." And he just like basically said that. My
Wow.
sister's just like, "Yeah, you're doing so great for yourself now, obviously." I mean, she didn't actually say that. I mean, she didn't say that.
Dude, getting
but
into
it's
those
just like,
awkward homeschooler conversations is the best because they just start laying into homeschooling, and then about mid to the end of the conversation, they realize you were homeschooled,
Yep.
Yep.
even though they already knew that ahead of time.
Yeah, except he started out with, "Oh, you're homeschooled," and he was like,
You don't
"Well,
have
I don't."
friends.
Yeah, he's like, "Well, I'd have no friends and I'd have nothing, and life would suck if I was homeschooled. Like, I don't know what I'd do without this." And
Wow.
sister's just standing there like, "Yeah, good talk."
Yeah. No, I was talking
Thanks.
to
It's awkward.
this one guy once. He just started laying into it. He's like, "Dude, homeschooling your children is a disservice." I'm like, it's up to each their own. And I hate that saying. You know how much I hate that saying.
Each their
But it's
The
really
customer is always right.
I don't know who the owner versus the customer is in this scenario, but raise your children how you want. Your prerogative. But
Yeah, well, it's-
this dude just starts laying into homeschooling, knowing full well I was homeschooled. He's like, "It's a disservice to your children. It's terrible. And I don't understand how any horrible parent could put their children." I was like,
Whoa.
I mean, I think you
Dude.
can definitely do homeschooling wrong.
"Oh, I've seen many examples
yeah.
where
You
people have
definitely
done it
can.
wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But I've seen lots of also, to that same extent, examples of people who did it really well and were
Yeah.
able to excel much farther because they were
Mm-hmm.
able to set their own pace.
And
Yeah.
you can also say the same thing about public or private
gonna
schools.
say
Like, yeah,
that.
some public or private schools are great. Others are awful.
You know
Yeah.
how many
So- Yep.
freaking weirdos I see that are like. So I went to middle school the other day. I was there because for some band event or whatever.
You
What?
elaborate a little more.
Okay. Well, like I was there basically to see a concert. I'll
Okay,
say
there
that,
you
because
go.
I don't want to give like too much context.
You didn't know
Anyway.
anyone there. You just wanted to go see
No,
a concert.
yeah. Well, no.
I just, I really wanted to go
Loved
see this
middle
middle
school
school
concerts.
concert.
Okay, now okay. Anyway, I was there. It sounds really weird.
I was there.
I
I
knew
took out
people.
my phone to record the performance.
I was there. I knew people that were there, but only like one or two. Okay. Anyway, the amount of just weird people, and I was like, wow, this is like bad. There's so many like weirdos, like really weird
Yeah.
and awkward, and like they can't have a conversation with people, and
Do you
they're
know
all
their-
rude.
Do you know
and
their
they're-
educational background?
I did.
Do you want to share?
They were public school.
Oh.
So I was at a middle school.
There's
There's
been
no
a couple
such thing as
homeschool plays.
homeschooled middle school.
I think a lot of
Anyway.
it.
I think plays are just rough in general.
That didn't really
Yeah.
go where I.
I think people forget too. You don't.
It's
Yeah,
the last episode.
I think we're
just
also
proving
Wait, this is the
furthermore
last
how
episode.
awkward we
Wait,
are.
this is the last episode?
for,
like,
for our
for-
recording
Oh, okay,
session,
that makes more sense. I was like, wait, what?
we're getting ended.
I think also
We're
too.
getting canceled.
Bullying can be like a problem for people that weren't even bullied because they see other people being bullied and they get so scared about that they try to defend themselves so they can't be bullied and then they turn into a bully. I've seen that happen.
Say that again.
Schmidt
Okay.
was a bully.
No,
And elaborate.
no, I was Honestly, I was friends with pretty much everyone in my grade. That was pretty good until I graduated. And I was like, anyway.
Bye, Felicia.
What was I saying? Okay, so let's say you are not bullied, but you see me being bullied.
Okay.
And so like something I do, the bully is like picking on me for.
Okay.
You see that, and you're like, okay, because I don't want to be bullied, I'm going to turn into the bully, so I can't be bullied.
Okay.
So like he would pick on you as
He
well.
would start picking on me,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
or he would start picking on other
The other
people for
guy
maybe
or
the same reason, or he would find little things that doesn't really bother him.
As a result of not wanting to get
So-
bullied
Yeah.
himself.
It's like eat or be eaten.
Exactly. I actually saw that quite a bit in school.
I can.
It was pretty
I can see that.
sad.
Yeah. Trust me, I've bullied a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was Presley bullying someone.
Yeah, he made,
I honestly would kind of love to see Presley bully someone
look
just
down on
because
somebody.
it's so like
be awkward.
anti his personality and it'd be so awkward. I would love to see it.
Listen,
yeah.
you
Hey,
think you think you can
Shoes suck.
you think you
I
can be
hate
my
you.
friend? Huh?
yeah. You would go.
Punk. I'm inviting all your friends to my birthday party, but I'm not inviting
Do
you.
you know that
gonna
Robert
throw up.
California thing from
The Office.
The Office that you memorized at one point? Is it Robert California?
That's it.
No, that's a character, but
Yes.
that quote that I've memorized is the phone call.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to say it.
Oh, I'm gonna say it.
Oh,
gonna
is
if
it, wait,
this-
is it all appropriate?
It's like no,
Oh, then don't.
I'm gonna say it.
I mean, if you can censor,
Yeah.
okay.
So he's on the phone call with Andy Bernard, right?
Yeah.
He said Andy's like trying to get a leg up on him so he can get back into the company. Robert California, let me get a phone. He's like, in a very monotone, just deep. I will not be threatened by some ineffectual, privileged, soft debutante. If you want to start a street fight with me, bring it on, but you won't like how ugly it gets. You don't even know my real name. I'm the frickin' Lizard King.
That would be Presley.
Oh,
bullying.
yeah.
that was Mark
Awesome.
Zuckerberg?
Yeah.
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 Wow.
You don't even know my real name. I'm the CEO of Facebook.
You don't even know my real name. It's Mark.
I never understood that Lizard King comment.
Yeah.
Just something out there. I don't know.
Does that have something to do with like Illuminati, or am I making that up? I don't.
know.
I'm not familiar enough with conspiracy theories.
Well, we're
I don't
talking
know.
about specifically why did Robert California say that?
I'm just no. I was
I
saying
have
that's
no
how
idea.
that's how you would bully.
Yeah.
How did we get
Something
here?
that
again?
doesn't
I
make
don't know.
any sense at all, but it sounds really threatening.
Yeah, just Presley.
Also,
bullying.
Robert California. What did he marry? Like Billy Iowa? Like what kind of a name is Robert California? It's such a weird name.
That's how you would bully somebody.
I looked at the clock at
Yeah.
1919. That was insane.
Okay.
That was cool.
All right.
Anyways,
Cool.
What are you on?
So anyway, if you want to know about awkward, you join the right place, the awkward tapes.
Here's another question: when people, because a lot of people don't like meeting new people, and they get
I don't.
right? Yeah, I mean, me too, and awkward in that way. What do you think are some of the reasons people don't like doing that?
I don't like people.
What?
I don't know. You just look like you were laughing. It's funny.
I don't know. That's just a preference. I don't understand that. I really
Zach,
don't.
yeah,
I don't
Well,
understand
Zach
your
is
question.
Zach is the most
Can you repeat
extroverted
it?
person here.
Well, see, I
easily.
wasn't listening.
Oh, yeah. Pay attention.
Oh.
It's really that easy. So
Yeah, I really
some
don't
people
get
don't
that.
like meeting new people,
Right.
and they get kind of awkward when they get put in those situations. What do you? Why? Why do you think that is?
For me personally, or just in general?
In general, or you personally, either.
Well, for me,
What is it for you?
It used to bother me a lot more just because I was shy of anyone I didn't really know that well. I
Mm-hmm.
used to be a lot, just more personality wise, a lot just shyer. Is that a word?
Yeah,
more
that's fair.
shy,
More shy.
than I am now. Now I'm
think-
just like
You think work kind of helped with that?
could have. I think multiple jobs in customer service might have helped with
Yeah.
that because I had already started to get better at it. Obviously in high school, college, but work especially when I was more so forced to interact with people when it really wasn't a choice.
Mm-hmm.
I think big thing with like meeting new people is like there's such a huge pressure on first impressions.
Oh yeah.
So like if that first conversation with someone doesn't go well, you may never get an opportunity to talk to them again.
Like I'm not gonna lie,
That's a lot of
there's
pressure.
people I still talk to now where I think they're completely fine. They're good people.
Yeah.
I still remember
Yeah.
something they might have done the first time.
It just ruins the way you look at them until they can kind of like get a new
And-
image of them.
Yeah, and it's
kinda
not
hard.
even. I mean, from what I'm thinking, it's not even anything bad. It's just like little stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I
Oh,
think in a work setting in the professional world, I think maybe I've just gotten a lot of practice of trying to make a good first impression,
Yeah.
smiling, firm handshake right off the bat.
Yeah.
Because that's what sets the tone for that entire
Yeah.
interaction
Mm-hmm.
thereafter.
Hey, Presley, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. How you doing, man?
Doing good. I'm the CEO of your company. I want to see you do very well today. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm gonna give you what I got.
Thank
Wow,
you.
this
All right.
episode of Undercover Boss sucked. Give it away instantly.
That's a firm handshake. But
Oh,
why
very
was it
firm.
moist?
I was.
Moist.
Layton's.
I don't know. Okay, I.
using
for me-
moisturizer?
What do you
Yeah.
think?
Okay, so lotion aside,
No, I peed
gosh.
on my hands on that.
Just straight up. he peed on his hand.
And now that interaction is what I'm gonna remember every time I look at you.
Exactly. If I made a joke like that in the work field, that you may never look at me the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were
Anyways, Evan, awkward people. What do you think?
oh, I need a second. Hold on.
like us now.
All right. No, I was. Oh, okay. I think what I was gonna say before Leighton peed on himself was for me. It really depends. I mean, I know I joked about, oh, I don't like other people. I mean, jokes aside, just I have to be in the right mood to where Zach is still just. Alrighty, so Zach got a call. Plus, we'll just say some other technical difficulties.
Yeah.
So the question was,
Can
I'm
you
already
repeat
forgetting.
it?
Because Leighton peed his pants, then Zach got a call and other stuff happened. Remind me of what the question
So
was.
when people don't like meeting new people and they're
Okay.
awkward about that, why do you think that?
Oh, that's
is?
right. At least when it comes to me, my biggest thing is I just have to be in the mood for it. Like, there are some moods. Like, I am very much an introvert. I've gotten a lot better over the years, but I'm very much introverted, and I don't like being like the first person to talk to someone or like starting that. So for me, I really have to be in the right mood. So if I try to get introduced to someone when I'm just like not in the mood, not ready for it or whatever, I don't like it. I just kind of shut down. I'm like, I need to isolate. It's nothing personal. Like, I can't do it right now. So I need to be in the right mood for it is a really big thing. But also part of it is kind of a bit judgy and mean, but also I'm just not a huge people person. Like,
That's
I like
fair.
to keep a very close group. Like, when it comes to you guys, I'm like, oh, you're my friends. I like doing this. It's a lot of fun. But I don't really have a strong desire at all to like expand my friend group
Yeah.
or my social circle. I'm like, this is fine by me. I don't really feel a need to have more. Like, it's nothing against other people. I'm sure that there are a lot of fantastic other people out there and people I'd get along with, but I'm just like, I don't really have the desire to expand it. I'm
Yeah.
kind of comfortable where it's at, which is unfair to the other person, I'll admit, but at least selfishly for me, I'm like, no, I'm comfortable here. I don't really want to expand it.
You mean comfortable?
Yeah,
Comfortable.
convertible. It's more convertible. Yeah.
Comfortable.
I had this teacher in college once, sociology teacher. She was, we'll say, difficult. I remember she asked us. I can't remember the nature of the question, but she had us fill it out as an assignment. It's just a one question. You could answer it in a sentence or two if you wanted to. Didn't have to be anything fancy. But I can't remember what I answered. But it didn't even seem related to what she wrote back. She gave me like half credit. Okay, she was asking my opinion, so I gave my opinion, and then gave me half credit because she didn't like my
Oh,
opinion.
That's awful.
It was terrible. And the note she left, is like, she wrote half credit, whatever she wrote to designate that, and then said, you need to expand your horizons and travel the world more. I'm like, no.
Something
No.
going off
No.
of that. This was my anthropology class, sophomore year of college.
What is that?
Terrible class.
What is the study of anthropology?
I don't even know. I hated it. teacher was
awful.
terrible. Class was terrible. But we were studying evolution, and we were taking a quiz one time, and this was the question on the quiz. It said, "Why is evolution real?" or something like that. I was like, to me, it's not. So I'm not answering that question. And so my answer was something like, I don't know, I won't get really into it, but it was just saying I don't believe in that. And so I'm not answering that question how you want me to.
Well, that question was conceived from the standpoint of already assuming that you believe in it. In this,
Right.
so it's just assuming you do.
huh. And of
Yeah.
course, I got that question wrong, but I didn't care.
Which that's up to everyone's prerogative. That's my word of the
That's
day.
the word of the day.
That's your prerogative if you want to believe in that or not. But assuming you do, come on.
Yeah.
And
And
then
to lose points on that.
To
in a
lose
class.
points in that scenario because you asked my opinion
'Cause you have-
and I gave
yeah.
you an opinion that differed from yours.
Discrimination.
No, from what
Yeah.
I've learned about classes like that, because I also took sociology, which, getting a business degree, I obviously need to take sociology. Everyone needs to take sociology. The class about nothing.
And psychology.
And I wanted to take psychology
that's a
because
fun
that
class.
psychology actually seems interesting and like it has
Yeah.
some things that you can learn and
liked
glean
that
from
one.
it. Sociology is just kind of.
I had to take
Yes,
both.
Zach, I said glean.
As a
I don't know
music
what that means.
major,
It's interesting.
I had to take both.
Well, colleges. I mean, now I'm just getting into. Okay, no, I'm not even going to get down the rabbit hole of the first 2 years of college.
We've
'cause
talked about that a lot.
It's pointless.
So much.
It's
Yeah.
pointless. Anyway, well, it's pointless for us, not for the college because they get money. Anyway, for sociology, one of the things I learned there is that was one of the easiest days, if not the easiest day I've ever gotten. I mean, one of the questions on the final, we didn't even go over it. I remember was just it was a 10-question final, and one of the question was approximately how many people live on the planet Earth. I'm just like, I don't even remember going over this. But I'm like, I know it's approximately 7 billion or around there. So I
Yeah.
wrote it, got full credit. I'm like, cool. Don't know why that was a question on my final when that didn't get brought up before. But regardless of that, I learned from some of the questions and how they were phrased, just you have to give, at least for me personally, because it's just a class, it's not like I'm putting this out into the quote unquote real world, even though college still is the real world, how you have to give the professor the answer that they're looking for opposed to the ones that you believe. So if it's in everyday life, then I'm just going to say what I believe and I don't care about giving you the version that you want to hear. But specifically in class when my GPA is on the line, and my GPA means if it's high enough that I'm eligible for more scholarships and for more opportunities in the future to further either my career or my scholarly whatever, then I'm just going to give you the answer that I know you want because I'm it doesn't matter. I'm not learning anything from sociology anyway. This class hasn't taught we went over the differences between sex and gender, and we went over population of the earth and whatnot, and it's I mean, regardless of if you're interested in that or not, if you're interested in that, then great. I don't really care. But my point is, at least for business, it didn't teach me anything business related, and
Yeah.
I'm just you have to give the professors what they're looking for in that instance.
In
Now we're just
certain-
going off on a rant, but
Well, certain instances I'll do that, but in other questions, I know what your opinion is, but you asked for mine, so I think it's fair to assume that I should give you my opinion.
Yeah. Sometimes
I
I
didn't
just
know
don't
she-
give a crap.
Yeah.
And I will just write what I think.
I'm starting to get to that point now.
You're
again,
not in
if
college
it's
though.
if it's at
I know, but I'm saying in
Oh, just
college,
saying what you
yeah,
what you want.
yeah. I started to do it there, but
Oh no!
now I'm just.
Just
gonna
wait till
turn
you're
into-
50.
oh no,
Yeah.
outside of college,
That's
I'm
why old
for
people are so rude.
maybe.
They don't care.
I mean, I'm not for being rude, but I do think that the world could use being a little more blunt. Because I think,
I
a
like
lot
that.
of people assume
that.
being blunt means being a jerk or being mean. But I think there's a difference between being blunt and being rude. I think that the world should be less rude, more kind, more forgiveness, but it also needs to be more blunt and more to the point.
People need to hear what they need to hear, not what they want to hear.
Exactly. But it should also
Powerful
be
Smash.
said, again, you can get straight to the point and you can get to the core of the issue without just saying oh, you're awful at this or you suck at this. Because I mean, even if you do suck at it, if someone just says, oh, you suck at this, it's your immediate response is to be well, screw you too. Be you're gonna be you're gonna be defensive. You're not gonna actually take that as criticism. You have to be, you know what? You can improve in this by doing this, this or that. Put in your full effort and try to look at it from this angle. People can phrase it in different ways. Anyway, long tangent.
That's how you phrase it. If
Yeah.
you're just being a jerk, you're just being a jerk. But like you said, you can phrase it in a way that is truthful and straight to the point, but is not rude.
Depends on the intention,
Right.
Yes.
May I add something to this?
You
No.
may.
I guess.
Okay, so
We
this
all
is-
gave different answers.
This is what I'd like to add by majority rule, 3-1. So, I feel like when it comes, what?
You talking about the voices in your head or us?
What?
You guys. Okay. So my voices in my head aside, I wanted to say that when it comes to people that get offended and like want to attack other people and be offended on behalf of others, I feel like there's a moment where you need to think before you do.
Amen.
And the questions you need to ask yourself are as follows.
How am
Will
I?
me saying anything change the way that the other person thinks? Is it actually going to make an impact? Will they be able to change their mind? Are they open to having a discussion about it? And why am I offended in the first place?
And what's for dinner?
Yeah, that's the last question you
The
asked.
important thing.
The dinner, right?
What am I going to eat
But,
later?
I
like,
do
my
agree.
point is in saying that is that like people will get offended over anything. And don't get me wrong, I get offended over stuff too. But I don't just out like go in a raging fit about what I think is wrong with what this person is saying or doing. I have to like compose myself, think about if I'm going to say anything, if it's even worth it, and then go from there. People will just like attack folks
yeah.
for no reason.
Oh yeah, I hate how in society, you sound all stuck up and stupid saying that. But
In our society.
but guys, we live in a society. Did you know that?
You would think that this would be like common thinking.
No.
Yeah, no, but just my only thing I was gonna say is that we live in such like an FU mentality sort of like state, and I think that's just so pointless and just it's the exact opposite of what you want. It doesn't provide any growth or maturity. It just makes everything worse, and it just it turns all the ducks on their heads.
He's trying to drown George Duckington.
Also, if you're not watching the visual version,
Oh,
watch it
look
and you'll
at
get
these
context.
ducks.
So many talks.
On a serious note, I have something to add. This is actually
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah.
This is a little
Please.
story.
Drop a bomb.
So-
on us.
Yesterday, this
I
happened. I
want to
was
feel the
driving,
radiation.
and this is also in our society. What really drives me up the wall, like
What
up the
grinds
wall,
your gears?
grinds my gears, is when people are wrong. You know they're wrong. Everyone also knows they're wrong, but they get mad at you because they think they're right.
Or do they actually think they're right, or do they know they're
No.
wrong and they just don't want other
No,
people seeing that?
They
Okay.
They really think they're right. Let me give you an example. So I was driving. Okay, I did not have a stop sign. I pull through. I go to the right. Okay, they had a stop sign. They had a stop sign, but it's like this little T intersection. So I'm pulling through. I don't have a stop sign. She did. She went anyway, and so I see her like coming out of the corner of her eye, and I have to slam on my brakes to stop. I did not have a stop sign. She loses it. She honks her horn. She starts pointing and screaming at me, saying, "You have to stop." No, I do not have to stop. You do though.
Yeah.
And so I even after that, I went to the parking lot. Parked. I ate my muffin top. After I ate the muffin top,
Where'd you get your muffin
Poor
from?
guy just wanted to eat his muffin top.
Wait, I want more
Some coffee
backstory
shop.
about this muffin.
it was like some coffee shop.
What
it was pretty
flavor?
good. It was chocolate chip.
Okay.
That's beside the point.
No, this is what
Anyways,
matters.
the point.
What matters is I even went back and I looked and I triple checked 2 stop signs. They should have stopped. I didn't have a stop sign. I watched someone else do the exact same thing that I did, except they went twice the speed I did. They didn't even look to the left or right. And I'm like, if they were in that situation, they would have crashed. You know, if they were put in my situation where they just jumped out. But I'm like, I know I'm right. Everyone else is treating it right, except for that person. But they are so like sure that they're right, but they're totally wrong.
So what
It's
you
just so
mean is
annoying.
that you hate overly confident, incompetent people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I
do.
have the same issue because I have an issue with people who are arrogant and are like attacking in their opinion when they don't even know that they're wrong,
Right.
and are like prideful in that stance of
Yep.
theirs. And then that's when I hear stories like that, I think of the same thing. It makes me like really mad.
Because remember, everybody, we're always right.
Right.
Remember that.
That's right.
Right.
Write that down.
Always
Write
right.
it down.
It's funny you
right
say
now.
that. From an educational standpoint, I like what you're saying, and back to my point. This teacher I had, there are times I'm like, you think you're right. I'm not going to convince you otherwise. I'm not going to waste my breath. You think you're
Yeah.
right, and that okay, you can be right. I don't need you to know that you're wrong in order for me to live my life,
You know,
I'm okay.
there's
You're
that.
not.
But there's also there's this little thing when 99.9% of the world all agrees on something and you're the person that thinks you're right, you're probably wrong. You know, when everyone in the world can agree on
You
something,
should at least consider it.
it's like a stop sign means to stop. And if I don't have one, I don't stop. Like that's pretty black and
I
white.
think driving,
So stupid.
with driving especially, that just makes it that much more infuriating
Like
to
Zach
me.
said.
Overly
say?
confident, incompetent people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which my teacher was, and therefore any opinion I had because I wasn't educated and well traveled
Bingo.
didn't matter. That's the other misconception that I really just don't like
I think if
in
peop-
today's
Well,
society.
what I also don't like about that is that, sorry, you know, I'm going to interrupt you.
Actually,
But,
you both interrupted me. I'm going to finish my point.
Could have sworn you were done.
Yeah, it really sounded like you were done.
Yeah.
But all right, continue.
Sorry.
Those awkward silences, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, if you have an awkward silence, that's on you.
See, that's an example of being blunt. In reality, I don't have a point. Shmev, please continue.
Okay. I think it would make the world a lot better if people just actually heard people out on their opinions. Like, oh, you have a different opinion than me. I'm not going to attack you. Maybe I should hear you out. Maybe it'll boost my opinion. Maybe it'll make me change my opinion for the better. Instead of going to Facebook and, I can't believe people actually think that blah, 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 blah is this. And then they just get a ton of hate comments, and then they comment to those comments, and then it's just bam, bam, bam.
And you know, they comment on those.
Instead, maybe don't post, and maybe while you could spend your time thinking about the post and what you're typing, sit there and think of the other side. Maybe it'll boost your thought. Maybe it'll change yours and for the better. And maybe you can lead other people in a way that'll make a positive impact on the community and the world.
Screw you too.
I'm just saying.
I'm sitting
Except
over
they
here now.
misspell screw.
Yeah. No,
Or
you
you.
know, I love,
U-O-U.
I love those angry rants, how they always misspell stuff all the time.
Always.
It's
Well, they're
because this is
mad.
what they're doing.
Yeah. This is going to get them.
Yeah. You need to have a degree before you can have an opinion.
Oh, literally.
The educated.
Like, but you just asked me
educate
for my
yourself.
opinion in order to get the degree. What?
Oh, best thing ever too is when you go through this entire argument or debate, and then you finally get a point across that actually makes you or makes the other person realize that they're wrong, or you win the debate or whatever, and then they're like, "Well, you're just an ableist."
Ego.
You're like, or they just like stick a name
Well,
tag on you.
an
They
ego
start
thing.
The whole-
insulting.
Yeah, they start
Yeah.
insulting.
a
Which
form
also
of-
goes back to like the screw you mentality. And also is just like people who do that, they clearly had no intention of wanting to convince the other side or wanting to improve anything.
Or, like, open
the
dialogue.
the only thing that they're wanting is that they're wanting to win.
Yep.
Mev, I'm sorry if you were gonna go
What?
talk.
No, I don't know what they're
I'm
laughing.
laughing at Preston laughing.
What am I doing?
Yeah, I saw Shmev was Shmev,
Just
that you were
the
laughing at
rant.
Shmev.
Oh,
I was like,
Oh,
I am passionate about that.
You almost slapped me in the ear.
I agree.
There's too many people
Totally.
in my life that hear an opinion and just go off on them. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, I feel like now I'm not trying to like toot my own horn or just say I'm cool or whatever.
You are good about that. You're open-minded.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
you
you.
are.
Very open-minded.
Well, to be fair to other people, we are, according to our test that we did, an extremely close-minded group with the exception of Zach.
Yeah.
Really?
actually.
No, do you
That was
remember our
what it said
test?
on your test,
Somehow
your Enneagram?
Presley was the most open-minded of us all,
and
and
you weren't
he
there.
was still super low.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I took my test and I wasn't even on that episode, but I took my test and I think I got like 99%.
It was
or
like
something.
98 or
I was
something.
one. I legitimately have been trying to work
His
on
was
that,
like
though.
1. Mine was like somewhere between 10 to 20. Layton's was,
Yeah, I
I think,
forgot.
somewhere kind of around there, and Presley was the highest with like 22.
In turn
The
though,
highest.
like with that, like if you want to call it a stat, like I may be more open-minded, but I'm not as I don't know how to say this. Like I'm not as grounded as you guys are. Yes, not not as sexy, obviously, which is what he said.
I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that either.
You
Slightly just
whispered
barely
it, and I
said
was
it.
like-
Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, like I feel like I'm not as grounded in certain beliefs yet. Like I'm still trying to form mine.
Yeah,
Where, like
that's-
I, in a sense, envy you guys because you already have those like certain things that you believe in, and I'm like, I don't know yet. Like I don't know.
But also with some things, I think it's good to always keep an open mind with some things.
I do it, I think, on a bit of a two
I-
extremes tense, though.
I think it's
sometimes.
good to always hear out the other side.
Yeah.
But there is such a thing. Like everyone's like, "Oh, always keep an open mind." I'm like, on some things you shouldn't keep an open. Like I understand that this is a very radical or extreme example, but I mean, if someone's trying to convince you why murder's right, maybe don't have an open mind about that, and maybe understand that murder is wrong. Again, I know that's a very extreme example,
Yeah, I
but my
wouldn't go that far, but-
You're so
Well, but that-
close-minded.
But that's my point, and like that's why people give extreme examples. Is that's my point. Like on certain things like that, it's like, you know what? Maybe don't have an open mind because murder is bad.
Yeah, and sometimes people will open up like really weird conversation topics and they're like, "Oh, expand your mind to think about this," and I'll be like, "Oh," and my first instinct is, "Oh, okay, I'll keep an open mind about it," and then a couple minutes later, I'm like, "Wait a minute, I gotta catch myself here. I can't just believe
Yeah.
what they're saying right now."
It goes
Like, I
back
have
to what we were
form-
saying, like
Yeah.
believing everything you see on Facebook.
Exactly.
It's like
I have to form my own
the
opinion.
same as you can't just believe it because someone says it.
Oh, and when it comes to stuff like that, I'm different. I just more so mean specifically like thought process or or like ideology, stuff like that. But I can say I'm fairly safely grounded in my faith and not at all in politics. I just could not give less of a flying pig scrap about it. I am almost apolitical at this
Wait,
point.
Again, with the flying
You
poo.
have flying pig crap to just give out to people?
I know. It's
Dude, that's
awesome.
valuable.
It tastes like
Can I get
Skittles.
I think that
tasted
is
it?
a great place to end this thing.
So it's
I
like
can see the
it's
title
like-
of the podcast.
Yeah.
Tastes like Skittles.
No, it's like Happy Gilmore. Like, you eat pig crap for breakfast? No.
I eat pieces like you for breakfast. You eat.
Why is my
Wait,
laptop?
what the? Wait.
Yeah,
that's
it's-
Oh.
It's time to end.
Time to end.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming for episode 58
58.
I think.
Is
I
it?
think.
Yes.
of the Awkward Tapes. 58.
Forgot.
Hope you guys enjoyed this one and my rant. That
We had,
felt good.
we had lots of good angry
was like,
rant. You know,
yeah.
nothing's better than
Felt
listening to a bunch of young white men go on rants.
this
It's
is the
my
Awkward
personal
Tapes
favorite
therapy
thing.
session.
Yes.
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 All right,
I'm
come
out.
back for
Peace.
episode 59, and thank you for joining us for a session of awkwardness.
Yeah, we should. Oh man. Imagine if we kept that in.
Oh, it went in the bag.